people that ended up having jobs working from home or were out of work for that time period, they got puppies because, hey, this is great. I have all this extra time. What am I going to do with it? I always wanted a puppy. Great. So you get a puppy and then you are home all day long with the puppy. The puppy gets very bonded to you, ends up with separation anxiety. These people never thought, what am I going to do when I go back to work?
Yeah.
And right now, several years after, we're seeing the consequences of that, which is pretty terrible.
Yeah.
So that has helped me when I do my puppy talks to say how you want this dog to be is, what your lifestyle is going to be going forward. If you're going to be traveling a lot or being away from the dog, then if you're working at home right now, that puppy adult dog should be able to go in another room by itself and be comfortable.
Yeah.
They need to learn to be comfortable. And when dogs get really bad separation anxiety, they will chew through doors, they will ruin sheetrock, and that's a disaster for everybody.
Yeah, and not to mention if they consume anything that they're eating, and then you have an emergency obstruction surgery.
Yeah, and
Expensive.
yes. And on that note, and for the general public here, and I always incorporate this into my puppy visit as well, your starting estimate is going to be $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 at an ER if your dog ate something and needs abdominal surgery.
On an urgent basis.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are not prepared for this number. They have no idea. And what are you going to do if that happens to you?
Yeah.
What is your plan? And that's something that's one of the most important things to consider. If things don't go right, what are you going to do? Where are you going to get that money from?
Yeah.
Do you have a credit card? Do you have a savings? Do you have a family member? And you cannot make it someone else's problem to go into the clinic and say, oh, I don't have any money. Fix my dog.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, these are not the days of the early 1900s and even 50s, et cetera, where going to veterinary school.
1900s.
Yeah, where from going to, when going to veterinary school was not that costly. People didn't have loans.
The cost of having a practice wasn't as expensive.
So you can't assume that your veterinarian is going to be able to perform an emergency surgery. You have to be prepared for the worst.
Yeah.
And another thing that I think is very important is even some of these services that will give you a loan, sometimes the length of that loan is only a
6
year
months.
or 6 months.
Yeah.
If you have a $10,000 surgery and you have to make a monthly payment on that for a year, that's a big chunk of change.
Yeah.
So that's where these days pet insurance is coming in.
Yep.
And there are many different types of brands of insurance you can get. And
just like human policies.
Exactly.
Major medical versus stuff that's covering, general care.
Exactly. And what the biggest thing is just like a lot of human medicine, it does not cover pre-existing conditions. So things that are very frustrating, such as allergies, a dog that has a lot of intestinal issues, I will see people say, oh, I'm going to apply for insurance now. And I said,
It's too late.
You missed that boat. You absolutely missed that boat. Well, the story I want to tell you that was really upsetting, and you wouldn't think of this brand new puppy, somewhere between 8 to 12 weeks old. This puppy went outside with his housemate to play and came back limping.
Oh.
She fractured her elbow. And this was not something that a general practitioner really could handle. It needed special orthopedic surgery. I don't do special orthopedic surgery. I could have amputated the dog's leg so it did not have pain, which is not the most difficult thing to do, but this poor pup needed some orthopedic surgery. So this really nice owner went to the emergency clinic, and the starting estimate, I think, was like $6,000 to $8,000. And she called me in the parking lot crying, to call your veterinarian crying and saying, I don't have this money. What am I going to do? Do you know someplace that does it cheaper? Why would you think that your puppy so young was going to break its leg? That doesn't come to people's mind, but it happens, and that's what you have to prepare for.
Yeah.
Luckily, she was able to work something out, and the puppy got the care that it needed, but she was devastated.
Yeah. And then you bring up the point,
Yeah.
she called you crying, and then you're carrying the weight of that
Oh,
burden.
yeah. And I'm calling all the vets I can think of around to get an estimate in the middle of my appointments.
Yeah.
So,
Because you're heartbroken too
yeah.
and sick to your stomach over it. And
Yeah.
that's what's Charlotte and I started our relationship based on the fact that we both were kind of in a position of experiencing a little bit of burnout. And this is a really great example as to why. And this is what we're facing every single day. People that are good pet parents who do a great job by their animals that are completely slapped in the face with a crisis that they weren't prepared for. And it's hard not to feel like we're responsible because we didn't prepare them properly
Right.
and tell them like, oh, like this could happen. Like think of all the horrible things that can happen to your human child. It's no different. And as you were describing these estimates, 6, 8, sometimes $10,000, people are really angry at us over those costs. It used to be more like 2, 3, 4,000 when we started, but the cost of everything has gone up exponentially. And everybody's allowed to be upset about it and frustrated that just being a human in this day and age is we almost can't afford it.
Right. And I also think people need to realize when you're getting mad at that person at the vet's office, the employee, whether it be the veterinarian, the tech,
The receptionist, the
yeah,
poor receptionist.
those are not the people that are, have to give permission for payment plans, etc. None of us are the ones that control that typically.
Whatsoever. You are
Yeah.
not setting the costs.
Yeah. So getting upset with us, and when I think back about it, I'm like, if you had insurance, we could do whatever this dog needed and you wouldn't be sitting here crying.
Yeah.
And some of these problems that these animals have, time is of the essence.
Yeah.
We cannot wait 48 hours for you to get finances together.
Yeah.
And we don't want to seem money grubbing or anything like that as veterinarians, but I always tell people there's no magical group that's going to fund us when people don't pay bills.
Yeah,
There's
angel
not
funds is what
Yeah,
people are usually
there-
looking for every day. How many
Yeah.
people would be seeking an angel fund? It's
There
not
is-
possible.
Exactly, and there's not a special group that's going to pay my almost $500,000 worth of student loans.
Yeah.
So people really need to start being responsible so they can enjoy their puppy
Yeah.
and be stress-free if an emergency happens.
Yeah.